Thank you, Rebecca, and welcome you all to this session that is organized by the EIB Institute. And if you look at the screen and when you hear the title of the session, it's Impact Heroes, and many of you will think about your heroes when you were growing up. But in fact, this session is not about these impact heroes, but it's about the 8 projects that you're going to listen to, and I'm sure that you're going to be really inspired with their solutions. All these 8 projects, they come from the SIT Alumni Network, and at work we call them SIT alumni, but in my spare time I like to call them superheroes in disguise. And you listen to their superpowers in a minute. So why these 8 projects? Exactly because they come from the SIT Alumni Network. And what is the SIT? Back in 2012, we had this vision that we wanted to change tomorrow today and make Europe a better place through social innovation. And we started a competition that is now in its 12th edition. And every year we start with a launch, a call for proposals. We select 15 projects that are addressing problems in Europe, in social, environmental, and ethical. They go through a very comprehensive training program to prepare them to pitch in front of a jury that is composed of impact investors, impact entrepreneurs, philanthropists, and also academics. And in fact, I see now in the jury someone from FitTrust that we have one of the members of the jury from the beginning is from FitTrust. Then, you know, they pitch, and this year they will be competing for 300K in prizes. But more important than the prizes is that they will become members of our family. And as we say, they will start a long journey with us. And as members of the SIT alumni, they will benefit from capacity building programs. They will have access to resources, human, because we have an EIB experts network that they can talk to, they can ask advice from. They also have access to some innovation grants, and they also have access to some non-tangible benefits like networking, visibility, and recognition. Before I give the mic to Rebecca, I really hope that you become inspired today when you listen to them, because I really tell you these are 8 amazing stories. And if you want to meet the ones we've selected this year, we just selected them 2 weeks ago, and they will be pitching in Stockholm, and you are all invited to join us in Stockholm in September, on 28th of September. So I cannot say sit back, because there are no back seats, but relax and enjoy and be inspired. Thank you.
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you very much. Yes. So I see that you're enthusiastic about the program of today. We're going to have 8 pitches, 4 pitches first, then a session of Q&A with our jury, and then 4 pitches, and then again a Q&A. So I suggest that we get to know a little bit the jury member that we have today. Thank you for being with us. I suggest that you take 1 sentence to share about who you are and why you're here, and then you'll have the Q&A session to discuss with the solutions.
Okay, thank you very much. Bonjour Paris.
Yeah.
You look nice. You look nice and beautiful. Very happy to be here. I'm the chairman of IBAN Impact. IBAN is the most important, federation of all angel investing actors in Europe. So business angel networks, accelerators, incubators, and so on. And also from my professional career, I'm a fundraiser of startups and scale-ups. I've fundraised more than 5 million euros. And also I'm an advisor at the transformation of innovation of impact for corporates.
Thank you so much.
So very happy to be here.
Yeah, very happy to have you here.
Hello everyone, my name is Eva, and I'm a partner at Oryx Impact, which is an impact fund of funds investing with a gender lens across Africa. And in my prior life, I used to be a venture capitalist, and I also used to invest into venture capital funds in Europe.
Wonderful, thank you so much for joining us today.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Bonjour.
I'm Cyril from FeeTrust, and as Louisa said, FeeTrust is a fund manager dedicated to impact and investing in social enterprises in France and in Europe for more than 15 years now. And we are investing in equity in these entrepreneurs, and we coach, we mentor them, and we also help them measure and report on impact. So FeeTrust is a part of the SIT since the start, as it was said, and we are very keen to be here today.
Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, I'm Laura Ortiz from SBX Mexico and the Regenera Ventures Fund. Our mission is to ensure that capital serves life instead of governing it. And we have been focusing on biodiversity investments since 2018, working with the Biodiversity Finance Initiative from UNDP. And we're really, really interested in that thematic, and we're really excited, and it's an honor and privilege that you guys invited us as part of the jury. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to the four of you to be here. And thank you to everyone to be here, because we're about to begin the first session with the first four pitchers. Can you raise your hand if you've already pitched in front of an audience? Okay, so you may or may not know that it's a tough exercise and that we need energy from the audience. So I will ask you to be very supportive with warm welcome to each pitcher. Are you in? Wonderful, so wonderful. So let's welcome the first one. It's going to be AlgaEnergy. So let's welcome Miguel Rodriguez Villa-Forster. And AlgaEnergy has developed agricultural biosolutions that contribute to face climate change and enhance the economics of farmers. Please give a warm welcome to Miguel.
Thank you.
You go, Miguel. Do you need slides?
Thank you.
You go.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. First, thank you the EIB Institute, Lucia, Rosa, and the rest of the team. Today, I'm going to talk about the main challenges of the food system and the tangible solutions that are already in the market. First, I will ask you for your support and your help, and I want everyone to count until 5. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first outcome, time flies. And the second one is that in this 5 seconds, the same surface, agricultural surface, has been degraded equivalent to an entire football pitch. That means that we are losing almost 1 hectare per each 5 seconds. The rhythm of soil degradation, which is the main asset of farmers, is being eroded significantly, and that is a very concerning threat, right? So the different challenges of the food system are, as told, the climate change. That provokes more or less 50% of the yield losses. We have as well the food quality. The quality of the food that we are eating today is not meeting the standards they used to meet, so less micronutrients, less quality traits. That is a problem for our societies. And last, the margins of farmers are significantly are not sustainable as of today, no? Specifically because of the geopolitical situations. On the contrary, we have solutions. Companies like AlgaEnergy, it's a company that is based on science, 50 years of R&I in one particular biotech sector, which is phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is the most enriched and purest raw material on Earth, and probably the most sustainable. These 50 years allowed us to develop pioneering technologies to grow microalgae at an industrial scale. And with these microalgae, we do something called biostimulant. A biostimulant is an agricultural natural-based input that is compared to our probiotics, to our vitamins, to the functional food of human beings, but for crops. So with less chemicals, we can regenerate soils and enhance the competitiveness of farmers. Today, we have demonstrated that these products work because we have 4 million customers and 9 companies around the world promoting and commercializing these solutions, which are unique worldwide. In the end, what we do is we benefit 3 different actors. It's a triangle effect, which is farmers. We help them to increase the ROI. to use less chemicals, up to 30% less chemicals, without sacrificing the yield to consumers, because they have access to greater food and food with higher nutritional value. And then to the planet, because we are regenerating the soil microbiome and we are enhancing the microbiota of the soil, which is the main asset of farmers and the base where we ground food. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we can have our second picture. Sorry if I pronounce it in the wrong way. It's Silge Eftang, and the project is SOW-STEAM. SOW-STEAM recycle contaminated soil using clean water steam. Food security and sustainable agriculture are their goals. Are you ready to welcome? Okay, let's go.
Thank you for inviting us. I'm Silje Eftang from the Norwegian company SOW-STEAM, and I'm here today to talk about our soil. Did you know that the world can run out of topsoil in the next 60 years, and that it takes up to 1,000 years to create 1 centimeter of fertile soil? We know that agriculture has changed, agricultural practices have changed a lot during the last 100 years, from smaller farms to big monocultures, resulting in resistant weed problems and the loss of pathogens diseases, which again has resulted in a huge amount of chemical use. More than 4 million tons of pesticides ends up in the soil yearly, and it will not disappear. It will be present in our soil, in our water, and pollute our insects. Invasive alien species is also one of the biggest threats to our biodiversity, here illustrated by the spread of Japanese knotweed in UK and in Germany during the last 50 years. And due to these invasive alien species, we are also removing a lot of soil that is removed to prevent the spread. And as you see on screen, more than 500 million tons of soil is brought to landfills in the EU yearly. And this is actually 3 times more than the household wastes. So what if there was a solution that could prevent the use of chemicals and even give the farmers higher yields? And what if there was a solution that could prevent the spread of invasive alien species? Well, SOW-STEAM, we have the solutions for both the problems. We have our field saver, treating the soil in the farms, reducing weeds and pathogens in the soil, and also giving higher yields. We also have our soil saver, treating soil on site, killing all or sterilizing the soil so all the invasive alien species and soil-borne pathogens are killed, so the soil can be reused again. We don't need to send them to landfill anymore. So we find that we need stricter regulations, that the EU must have more focus on the soil. Our soil is, we cannot waste our soil anymore. We cannot put valuable soil to landfills. We need to reuse it and recycle it. So, and when we know that it takes up to 1,000 years to produce more new soil, we cannot waste it. We need to change now. So, if you would like to have more information about our technologies and our machines, please don't hesitate to contact us and we will give you more information. That's it.
So much. Thank you for sharing your project. You can put it here. You can put it here. Thank you so much. Okay. Did you like the presentation? Are you ready for a third one? Okay, wonderful. The jury, still in? Okay, wonderful. So the third one is Beetle for Tech. Beetle for Tech empowers companies to make informed decisions preserving intact forests for future generations. Please welcome Sebastian Vogler.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Sebastian Vogler, and I came here to ask you one question. What is the table made of you eat your breakfast at? For 85% of you, it is made of timber. But do you actually know where the trees grew that are in this table? Most likely you don't. And is this a problem? Unfortunately, yes, it is. Interpol estimates that up to 30% of the globally procured wood comes from illegal sources, and this causes immense damage to forests, and not to mention it also fills war chests. Timber is an internationally traded raw material, and by this, illegal timber also ends up in countries like France and Austria and so on. Of course, this is not an unknown problem, and there are strengthening and international laws which prescribe the companies on how to act properly. But unfortunately, there's a simple lack of tools on acting properly for companies. So we are coming from the timber trading, and we know all those problems. So we decided to develop a software, a platform for automated documentation, and we called it Origin. This software helps companies to handle due diligence procedures effectively and efficiently. And during the development, our future customers told us this does not go far enough for them. Especially for the upcoming EU deforestation regulation, they need an automatic and fraud-proof system which gives them information about the growth spot of every single tree. So, in response to that, we developed an automatic tagging process, a waste-free tagging process, which records GNSS data for every single logged tree and stores it within the log. And we patented this technology. And now, if you fuel all this data pool with satellite imagery, we can provide accurate information on regrowth and harvest in forested areas on our platform Quadtree. And of course, all of this also has added value for end consumers. With our product tag, end consumers can finally know where is my furniture coming from, where are my floorboards coming from, or maybe my wooden building, where did it grow actually. And I also invite you for a hands-on presentation on that to our booth. We are at the end of the hall over there. And in response to my question in the beginning, of course, with our product tag, you would be finally able to say, okay, now I know where my kitchen table actually grew. Now to our business model, we have monthly license costs for the due diligence software. Oh, sorry. We offer the tagging devices at cost price. Our monitoring, forest monitoring has an area-based pricing, and the real cash cow in our system is the cloud service behind it. Of course, all of this cannot be done by one single person. We grew into a team of experts from timber trading, timber industry, remote sensing, software development, hardware engineering, and sustainability. And since our founding in 2021, we won competitions and prizes like Galileo Masters and Copernicus Masters Austria. And we are funded by Federal Ministry of Austria and ESA, and supported by EIB Institute and others. And we are very proud that we can take part in the ESA GTIF initiative. And yeah, I want to say thank you for the invitation, and yeah, at the moment we are actually looking for strategic partnerships, so I'd be happy to talk about that. And that was it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow, what a timing. Thank you very much. Wonderful. It's already the last pitch of the first round, and it's SEADS-Sea Defense Solutions. They collect riverine plastic to create value out of the material collected to cover the costs of river cleaning, create revenue, and new jobs. Please, let's welcome Fabio Del Monte for the last pitch of this round. Fabio, your turn to shine.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fabio. I'm the managing director of SEADS, a company that is aiming to stop ocean plastic pollution by collecting plastic at source in river before it gets to the ocean. We all know the huge amount of plastic that is entering the ocean, accumulating on the beaches, affecting marine wildlife, but also entering human food chain and causing a wide range of health issues. A very important fact from research is that only the 1% of the plastic that is in the ocean is still floating. Another information is that 80% of the plastic that enters the ocean comes from rivers. And this is an opportunity. And that's why we developed the blue barriers. A simple but innovative solution that is specifically designed to stop plastic in rivers, is very resistant in order to be effective also during seasonal flooding and safe for exceptional flooding. Unfortunately, even more frequently nowadays. It collects plastic also below the surface, up to 50 centimeters, after 1 meter of water below the surface. And this is because the plastic are transported in the first 50 centimeters of column waters. The blue barriers are modular in order to be easy to be transported and adapted to any kind of river. We collect almost all the plastic that are floating in the river. We don't just stop plastic, but we want to optimize the recycling of what we collect and produce a value out of it. We already installed our barriers in Rome and in upstream Rome, where it is already still operating, and we will install 2 barriers in Naples. In 5 years, we forecast to install 30 barriers, being able to stop 70,000 tons of plastic per year, saving 40,000 tons of CO2 per year, producing 280 direct and indirect jobs, and saving 7,000 birds and sea mammals. Our customers are public administration and companies that want to tackle ocean plastic pollution. Our business model includes sales of barriers, renting barriers, royalties, and the future revenues coming from plastic recycling and sales of wood. This year, we will reach 700K of revenue, 75,000 in recurring revenues, with an EBITDA of 365 EBITDA. And in 2020, we will reach 1.4 million of revenue. We will reach these by tackling first Europe and then Asia and Southeast Asia, and in 2028 reaching the objective. This is our team, and I would like to conclude with the David and Attenborough word and asking you how you will be able to look at your grandchildren's eyes and say, look, I knew what was happening to the world, and I did nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You can stay on the stage because it's time for Q&A. So I invite all the first speakers to come, the jury to get ready for the questions, and I invite you to offer 1 question per pitcher, so that everyone's happy. And in the audience, you can also think of what question you would like to ask to them in the networking area later. Who wants to go first?
Yes, question for Fabio. What the blue barrier you mentioned, what is the technology behind the blue barrier?
So we try to make it, to keep it as simple as possible, but like it seems like even too simple, but the problem is that river is very challenging, so you have to like look at the details. It needs to be very resistant, to be safe, and collect like the material efficiently, and like to be safe in case of exceptional flooding, so like a disengagement system. So it needs to be very stable to float, and also internal structure to be very resistant. So it looks like simple, and that actually is one of our objective, but actually the technology behind required quite a lot of research to reach this accomplishment.
Can we ask 2 questions?
Can we please first go first round, and if we have time then?
Okay. For soil steam, if you're sterilizing the soil, are you also losing the positive microbes and like the soil richness? And how much is the cost efficiency, because there's an energy consumption to apply in this vapor?
Yeah, there were two big questions. The steam, which is very hot, it doesn't look into good or bad microbes. So in the field saver, which runs on the farms, we know that it will lose the biodiversity in the area we steam, but it will very fast come back from underneath and from the sides. We do a lot of research with huge research partners on that. For the soil saver, where we feed the machine to be 100% sure that there is no alien invasive species or pathogens coming out on the other side, the steam treatment is much harder. But the other fate for that soil is to be put on landfills, and we want this sterilized soil to be used again, put back in to parks or areas where in quite a thin layers, so that micro life that is already there will grow into or live into then this clear soil. And we know it's very advantage because there's no competition there. And your second question was?
The cost efficiency of the energy.
Yeah, of course it's very, very energy demanding to produce steam. Our machines can run on biofuels, hydrogen, what energy source you would like, electricity. So I think when the infrastructures on the areas are there, it can be run very energy efficient. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So first of all, congratulations for the presentation. And the question is for AlgaEnergy. Which are your competitors, and which is your competitive advantage in front of these competitors?
That's a good question. There is already a market for biostimulants, especially in Europe. It's consolidated, but it's also growing. Our main competitors would be seaweeds companies that are also in the world of algae. We are microscopic algae, and the other are macroscopic algae. We compete against them because we are capable of growing single cells and making a biomass under controlled environment. If you fish seaweeds from the sea, you cannot control the temperature of the water, the temperature of the sun, the pH. So what the main competitive advantage is not only the technology, but also the origin. Let's say that 50% of the content of microalgae is pure proteins. So it's a very enriched raw material in that aspect.
Thank you very much.
So, Sebastian, question for you. What's your sales look like currently? Who are your key customers? And are your sales very much tied to the EU regulation, meaning can you easily scale out of the European Union?
We are just finding our first customers. So we have the first customers for product tag system, but the system behind this is still in development. So we're looking forward to get the full chain finished soon. And yes, definitely it's quite so the new upcoming EU anti-deforestation regulation, also the older since 2013 EU timber regulation are quite good for us. But still in other regions of the world, like in the US, there's the LACY Act, which also contains quite some harsh or even harsher regulations on timber trade or trafficking with illegal timber. In the UK, there is the UKTR. In Australia, there's a similar thing. So in many regions of the world, there are regulations which try to regulate timber trade and keep illegally sourced timber out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I suggest we keep the last questions for the networking area later. Is that okay for you guys? Wonderful. So we're going to get a huge round of applause for the first speaker. Thank you so much for being here, and see you in the networking area.